Welcome to the No Bull Political Arena with your hosts, Sophia Nelson, Bill O'Reilly, Brian Mistro, and TJ McCormick. It's real voices, raw politics, and no bullshit. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Arena. It's Brian Mistro. I'm here with Lauren Coombe again, and Lauren, great to see you, my friend. As
Yeah, good to
always,
see
you're
you.
becoming a quite a consistent a guest on this. I think at some point we're just going to have to make you a host, but it's good to see you and enjoy all your unique views and everything else. What we probably ought to do, Lauren, and I'm hitting you out of the blue with this, but maybe we should start nicknaming you Doc. Do you need like a little what do they call a pseudonym or something like that? That we can put in there and
Yeah,
just
as
refer
you
to
just
you.
saw me be in my scrubs and have to change really quick. I mean, it's like my two lives, like I love talking about politics and stuff, but I also, I work now every day. Or I call it work, it's rotations. Unfortunately, I don't get
It is
paid, but
work. You just don't get
yeah.
paid for it, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I'm like, the more I do it, I'm like, man, I'm really doing a lot. It's really great to get the experience, but I'm like, I'm doing, a lot. So,
Are you having fun
but
with it?
yes, yes, it's very fun. It's good to see like the actual, what we're doing rather than just like the book work. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it much more for sure. It's just a little crazy, but
Yeah.
yes, it's
We'll
great.
probably get crazier, and every time we can have you on the show, it's a blessing for us. So thanks for
Oh,
joining.
thank you. No, thank you for
Um,
having.
So we're going to do something we don't usually. Most of our stuff is focused on domestic politics. I mean, we'll drift out of that a little bit in some international stuff. But I just saw a slide today, and I read something yesterday that just blew me away. And we're all going to spend 5 seconds on it, but I got to share this with you, Lauren, and everybody else because um, I'm just I just sucked the air out of the room. So let me read this slide. Um, Now from the New York Times, 1.4 million Russian troops have been killed or injured since February of 2022, according to the CSIS. Of that total, 450,000 were killed, a number that is 4 times greater than the United States fatalities in all wars combined since World War II. Holy mother. And I'm going to throw
That is
one more
insane.
at you. I just read, I think it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It might have been the day before. I don't remember if it was New York Times or who it was. But it said that the average lifespan, once somebody decides to go into basic training in Russia, to going to the battlefield, uh, this is 3.5 weeks.
Yeah,
And
I read
did
that
you see
too.
that? Three and a
I
half
didn't
weeks.
know the
That
other statistic, but yeah.
And then the other one was, which just absolutely made my jaw drop. The average lifespan of how long they live once they hit the battlefield is between 20 and 35 minutes. I can't
I
imagine.
mean,
I don't even know if World War One can compete with that. Holy cow.
was that actually okay, I'm showing my ignorance here, seriously, but was that like significantly worse than World War II? As
Well, sorry, I get a tongue twister. World War One was trench warfare, and it was massively high casualties. They'd have the Germans and they'd have Italians and the French, 1,000 feet apart in trenches, and they would rush towards one side. And it was the invention of semi-automatic weapons and machine guns. So they'd all get mowed down, and then the other side would do it. They'd all get mowed down. So yeah, it really is. It really was an incredible time. So anyways, hold on 1 second. We're having just a little bit of a technical difficulty here. I'm not sure why. Are you still there with me? There we go.
oh,
Yeah, sorry
was
about
that
that.
me? I think that was you.
No, I don't know what happened. We lost ourselves there for a second. Let me fix this real quick. I apologize to everybody. Um,
No,
yeah,
I was
so
joking. It said you are a host now, so I
there we
just
go. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I got it all fixed back. except for I'm you
Okay.
now. Anyways, yeah, so it was extremely bloody. We're dealing with the time that in modern warfare, that when that many people get killed, it's just baffling. I mean, it's just baffling.
It shouldn't be
Um,
happening. It should not like, didn't we, we signed all this stuff and all came together after World War II and we're like, this can never happen again. This
right,
type of just bloodshed. I mean, it's just and it also goes to show how well Ukraine is doing in the war. I mean,
for sure.
I don't think Ukrainians are having that kind of problem, and I also just wonder what kind of propaganda is, like, Russian or, Putin spewing to get people to sign up for that. I mean, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, it
Um,
is, and it is, and it's I don't know, and again, this is not my wheelhouse. It's not yours either. I just find the numbers that were just absolutely baffling. But it goes
Agreed.
to, in some ways, this is what happens when a government goes awry, when democracy fails. I think that's a perfect example of what's happened in Russia. They went from that semi-democracy. Putin gets elected and it becomes an autocracy, which it is, dictatorship, which it is now. And but the amount of people that will have to pay for their lives is just incredible. I mean, we've
It is
never seen
really
anything like
tragic.
it. It is. Let's
Like,
talk
he's
about
killing his
let's
own people.
Yeah, it is. So let's talk about something else, which I did. Was the main goal of what we're going to discuss tonight. So let me read this slide, and you and I are going to bounce it around. We're going to bounce a few things around about it, but let me just read the slide. Socialist Melot Kiros, and hopefully I didn't mispronounce her name. I probably did. Who just unseated a 15-term incumbent Democrat in Colorado. She says, quote, Denver just voted to send a 29-year-old recovering lawyer, barista, immigrant, Democratic socialist to Congress. And I'm going to say, when I said it, they elected to do that again. That's exactly what happened in New York City. And we're going to share a couple more slides and outcomes of that. But I just don't understand what's going on right now within the Democratic Party. Now, in anything that is any kind of a purple district or any kind of a district where there could be some competition, they're not winning. They're getting wiped out. But in
Mhm.
solid blue districts, Lauren, I mean, they're killing it. I mean, a 15 term, been there for 30 years, and she
Yeah.
just lost her seat. I To a 29-year-old. Oh, by the way, let me give you a little bit of background about this 29-year-old. Got her law degree from Notre Dame. Went to work for a law firm. Got fired from that law firm because she was critical of her law firm not supporting Hamas after October 7th, after the slaughter. Then went into politics, and now she's almost certainly going to be a U.S. Congresswoman, and kicks out a
That's
15-year
insane.
in turn. I mean, it just, what the hell is going on with the Democratic Party? I have no
Where are
problem
they
beating up.
getting
I,
this
I beat up
money?
MAGA all the time, but
Yeah,
this is happening over the left, and it's like, what the hell is happening over there? I mean, they're
yeah.
they're openly socialist.
I think the difference, because, like, I'm really trying to just think about this now. Like, our frustration, I think we share the same frustration with MAGA, where it's like they became sycophants, like, to the man who was leading the party, right? So it's like Trump got elected and it was like, ugh, like, not the right guy for the
Hmm.
Republican Party, right? And then slowly he became it was like loyalty to him or else. And so that's kind of how it shaped you know, like the Republican candidates, the Congress people.
Right.
This is like different. This is like a break off faction of the party gaining traction, like these ideas, like, because none of these people are like, have a cult like following. It's like the ideas are gaining traction, and it's in deep blue stuff. So you know what I mean? It's kind of just different. It's like it's not about one person. It's really about ideology and a core set of ideas, and it's almost like not more disturbing, but I mean, it's kind of more disturbing, like to me, that it's like growing, and like where are they getting this money to defeat the
That's a good
people?
point.
The Yeah,
That's a
I don't
really
really
good
get
point. I
that.
don't know. Yeah, that's
I
a
don't know.
really, really good point. The funny thing was is that she has basically no income and she's got over $200,000 in debt, and now she's going to be a U.S. Congresswoman. I mean, it just um,
I guess the Progressive Party, right? The whatever
the
PACs that they have is
DSA, yeah,
probably funding.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to follow up when she files her FEC stuff to see where she's getting her money. My guess would be something associated with Bernie Sanders, but it's another avowed they're not hitting around the edges or hinting they might be socialist. They're just straight up socialist. I mean, they and I worry big time about our country as we're in our 250th year anniversary and birthday. I worry about it because this country does its best, Lauren, when we have two healthy political parties. And right
Yes.
now, we've got two very, very unhealthy political parties. We can argue about which one is worse. I think it's MAGA, but there's a good argument that it's not. And so this would make that argument that it's not. I'm going to read this next one to you. And this one actually didn't come as a big surprise, but I can't wait to see your face. All right. So, and I didn't share these with you. I know I usually share the slides because I want you to know all the details of what we're going to be talking about. But this
Yeah, you
time,
want the shock
I
factor.
want to see the shock factor of what you think. So here we go. This is from Hakeem Jeffries, okay, the minority leader in the House. So, or the
Yeah, you were
second
right.
number two. So, congratulations to Malat Quiros in Colorado on your hard fought primary win. We will take back the majority in November, and House Democrats will aggressively tackle the affordability crisis, fix our broken healthcare system, and end the culture of corruption in Washington. Okay, that's from Hakeem just this morning. And just
Mhm.
after that, here comes a post from Malat Quiros, and I'm screwing up her name, but that's okay. New from Malat Quiros in a phone call with Politico after her historic win. You ready for this? We have to vote out any of the incumbents that are standing in our way by taking that kind of corporate PAC money. That includes not supporting Jeffries for Speaker, she said.
Oh, wait, so she
So
went
this
after him?
guy's sitting here. So the speaker is sitting there, wishing her all these well wishes and God bless you and yes, we're going to win and big tent, everything else. And she immediately comes out and puts out a statement that says, "First thing I'm going to do is get rid of your ass." I mean, I
What
just,
the heck? It's like savagery in the party right now. It's like really uncomfortable.
oh my
That is
gosh, I just read
crazy.
that.
'Cause
This
here I
is,
am, I'm, like, sitting here judging Jeffries when you were saying that, and now I'm like, I mean, it's even more embarrassing for him because,
it
like,
is.
what, he, like, extended the hand to somebody who was maybe, like, crazy, although, can't really tell if he agrees with those views, and then she just, like, completely
Just threw him
crapped
under the
all over him.
bus. I mean, threw him
Yeah.
under the bus. And we're not talking about a fellow Democrat. I mean, he's number two in the House. I mean, technically number two in the Democratic Party. So
Yeah.
I read that. I
That's
thought, you
really
know what?
funny.
The Democrats are doing what happened to the Republican Party, starting, I don't know, I'd probably say 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. And that would be the Tea Party movement. And so that's where the traditional Republicans, like the John Boehners, get pushed out and aside by the Ted Cruzes and a bunch of these other knuckleheads that are on the far right. And it moved from Tea Party to the MAGA movement, which of course neither one of us have any time for. My question is it looks to me, and I'm curious of your opinion, but it looks to me like the Democratic Party is in its own civil war or about to be. And where is this going to end? Because for the Republican Party, it ended in a MAGA takeover of a populist that now controls that party with an iron fist. I don't.
Mhm.
I is that not going to happen with again with a populist on the left though in the Democratic
Okay.
Party? It's what do you think?
For some reason, I can't see it going that like, direct my hope, I can totally see the Tea Party analogy, like, totally see it. So they're, like, definitely the far left, and then that kind of so say Trump didn't exist, right? Because I
Right.
don't even think he really aligns with the Tea Party. He's not far right. He's just he is what he is. He's populist. Yeah, like he doesn't have those like ultra conservative views that the Tea Party a lot of the Tea Party people had. So on the left, it's definitely like far, far left. But I hope or on the right, it would have just died out if Trump didn't like take over. That's my opinion, at least. Like if there wasn't a guy like him who kind of took advantage of the situation
Mm,
and like the
mm.
post Obama era, I kind of feel like he took advantage and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to do this now," and he's basically just become so corrupt. On the left, I feel like it would almost just die out if it doesn't gain traction. Like I can't really see somebody like Trump coming to the Democratic Party necessarily. I guess what is left wing populism? What does that even look like? Like
Well,
I
it'd
don't know.
be so left wing populism, at least as I would see it, would be MAGA with the same outcomes of beliefs, just with different ways of justifying it. I'll give you a good example. So Joe Kent, who I actually helped run a campaign against with Marie Gluesenkamp Perez, who was our current congressman in Washington '03, and I went to war for her as at that time a Republican because I this guy was a populist. He was a far right populist and he didn't support Israel. And he wanted to shut off monies to everybody and just focus on the United States of America. And he had a whole lot of other screws loose. We won't go there. It doesn't matter necessarily
Mhm.
to this conversation. But that's the same thing I think is going to happen to the left and a lot of these people. Now, the left, they don't want to support Israel for a different reason. And I'm just using Israel, by the way, as an example, but they don't want to support Israel for a different reason. And that's because they support Hamas or they maybe not support Hamas, but support Palestine. They believe that Israel has created a genocide. So they also believe that we should not be supplying arms to Israel, as the far right does populist and as the far left does populist. They have different reasons for saying, in this example, we're not going to support Israel, but it's still the same outcome. And that's
True.
what the populist left will look like. And it'll be very hard to discern a big difference between the populist right, which is MAGA, and the populist left, which is the DSA socialist movement. So I don't
I
know.
just think
It's
of these I think of these normal people. Like, imagine like a John Ossoff who, I find to be very normal. And like,
yeah,
if you listen to him, he's like, well, it's not really scary these days because, I'm so much more scared of what's happening on my own side. But,
right.
like if I was super diehard Republican, I would be scared of John Ossoff winning because I just think he has the charisma. But it's just like you got to think about what someone like him is thinking when they keep seeing these freaking races. Like he's probably just like smacking his head against the wall, just like, are you kidding me?
Hmm.
Like how is this happening? Because he's kind of like he has like a vision, and he's got probably, if not 2028, probably presidential hopes. Who
Oh, for
doesn't?
sure he will. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
So he's probably like, as opposed to like a Chuck Schumer, who's like definitely, smacking his head against the wall too, but he's at the end of his time. So like John Ossoff was probably like, what, where is this going? Like, you know, it's got to just be rough because yeah, there's definitely still a huge portion, or not a huge portion, a good portion. Like I talk about Mark Warner, my senator. There are normal Democrats. People don't like to say that, but there definitely are normal
yeah,
Democrats.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like they're seeing their stuff get taken over. I mean, it's probably just agonizing, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I agree with you completely. At least at this point in time, the that populist left socialist movement, which would be Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, AOC, the 3 4 candidates that have won in the last week or so. They're a big minority in the party still, and when you look at the entire House makeup. But MAGA was that at first too, and the Tea Party movement
Were
was that, and now it's almost all
Was
MAGA.
MAGA that at first? So
Do what
like, see,
now?
that's why I feel like Trump. Everybody fell in love with him for some reason. Like the whole party, and so like it was less like, okay, this dark blue faction is gonna like elect this crazy person, and it was more like it all happened at once, right? Like, everybody fell in love with him, and he was like the like that it almost it felt different to me in that way. Like, I feel like hopefully this will just not get traction and it will
Mm,
just die off. Because again, like you said, in purple districts, it's I mean, it's just not gonna happen.
they're
And
not going
I'm
to
also
win.
waiting for this to happen to a senator. Like, I know I mean, it's definitely a big deal that these people are going to be in Congress. But I'm curious to see what happens with this Michigan race. You know that Al
El
Sayed guy?
Sayed, El Sayed, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The fake
versus.
doctor. He goes around saying he's a doctor and he's not. So weird. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see if he will win because I know whatever establishment candidate is not very popular. So I really hope he doesn't win.
Yeah, and they have McMorrow, who's again not an establishment candidate, but she's sucking off a lot of the votes, and again in the Michigan race um, from Stevens, I believe her name is. And so if McMorrow, who I'm surprised didn't actually do better, I followed that race, but if she doesn't drop and put her support and candidacy behind Stevens, I think he'll win. I do. His numbers, unless the
Great.
polls are completely wrong, his numbers are too big, and there's just not enough runway to stop him. So
That's insane.
yeah, it is. I will say though, in the Colorado primary yesterday, what's his name? Hickenlooper. I can't remember, but the Colorado senator, Democratic senator,
Oh,
he did win. So the normal Dem did win in Colorado, but there's no doubt he was sweating that either. So I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know where this is going, but let me share with you another slide because it'll be a good one for us to discuss. Where is it going? So we've already talked about this. I'm going to jump over this one for just a second, but I do want to read it. So, eye-catching story of the day: top Democrats won't commit to supporting Israel's security in party platform. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and AOC and Greg Caesar were non-committal when asked by JI, which I think is the Jerusalem Institute or something. I can't remember. It's a magazine, but we've already talked about that. But I just want to put that out there for everybody. Um, that's it's a real issue. So we are now seeing some fringe elements of the Democratic Socialist Populist movement in the Democratic Party that are affecting policy in the larger Democratic Party. But here we go. Here
Yes.
comes the fun one. All right, you ready? Um, so always let me find the right one here. I thought I had that slide. Let me just describe it. So over the last 24 to 48 hours, uh, Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom have picked up the telephone and they've called Mamdani in New York, and they're having secret conversations. And so this is another example, and I thought I had the slide of it. I apologize, but it's another example of exactly what's happening right now in the Democratic Party. Those two people, they're both going to run for president. I can't imagine Harris is not gearing up for another presidential run. And
I
so
don't know
I
why.
I
Yeah.
think they're trying to get support from that far left socialist wing. I think that's happening. And I'll throw that out to you as we've got 6 more minutes.
What was it in a story or what like
Yeah, it
was
was
this
it was multiple. I think it was Politico, and another one might have been New York
and it
Times.
didn't
But
say what the content was, right?
no, I'm sure they're keeping it hyper confidential. But remember, for a while there, wasn't it Hakeem Jeffries wouldn't even talk to them, right? He wouldn't even discuss it in a news conference, and he kept everything hush hush. And it was
He wouldn't
obvious
talk
that
to Kamala, you mean?
no, I was talking to Hakeem Jeffries, the leadership in the House, minority leadership in the House. He wasn't talking to Mamdani. He wasn't supporting him. He wasn't
Oh,
having
yeah.
conversations with him. So that plus Harris plus Newsom, at least in my mind, shows that the Democratic leadership is becoming a lot more comfortable with the Democratic Socialist left, where they see the progressives, as a real threat of what's going on right now in the country. So
So
that was my take out of it.
I take it as maybe, and maybe this is just like wishful thinking. Maybe they're contacting him to say, "Stop." what you're doing,
Hmm.
like, with all these endorsements. Like, why are you putting your thumb on the scale? I mean, so if I was like a Democrat and I had aspirations, I mean, I don't understand how anybody thinks this is a good idea. But if I were them, I would be like, stop. Stop endorsing these people. Stop sticking your hands in all these elections. And do you not see how this is like horrible for the party's future? Like people are getting really pissed off about this. I mean, I think it could be that rather than because why would they want support
Well,
from what's still,
I think it's Harris and Newsom wanting to get support
yeah, I mean,
from the
maybe,
far
maybe.
left, because you know it's going to be a tight race, and you know Newsom and Harris, I think, are going to be the furthest left candidates that would be running for president in 28. I think.
Yeah,
And by the way, somebody explained to me how Kamala Harris lost historically to Donald freaking Trump. Okay, after January 6th, she loses historically to Donald Trump. Was it the Donald Trump wipeout he says it was? No, it wasn't. But my point being is that so instead of her bowing out and trying to support another candidate that you know and
I
take that
know.
support and drive them into somebody that can win in 2028, I mean, what's she going to do? She's going to run again in 2028.
Yeah.
It's like
Again, it's like I picture people smacking their head against the wall. Like, are you kidding?
yeah.
Like
What are you doing? I mean, it's like
she was
okay,
so disliked.
if at first you fail, this is the Democratic motto, and you probably see me post this. But if at first you fail, the Democratic motto is keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and that's the
Yep.
Kamala Harris thing. So, it's just a terrible idea,
Maybe
and
it's not even on her necessarily. It's the way that that all happened really pissed off a lot of people.
it
So,
did, yeah,
unfortunately, that's the end of the road for her, like, that's how she should
it
like, a
should have
rational person
been,
would see it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm with you
So for her
100%.
to
I
it's
actually want to
crazy.
dive into this next slide a whole lot more, and we're not going to have the time, but I'm just going to mention it because I know you followed up in it and quite a few times on some of the postings too. So I'm going to read it. The day before Trump paused tariffs, and sparked a historic 10% market rally. His accounts bought 327 stocks worth up to 12.8 million. The trades weren't disclosed until yesterday, over a year late. He paid a $200 penalty. This comes on top of the New York Times reporting that he's made what $1.8 billion dollars just since he's become
That's insane.
president. It is the most dishonest, grifting, corrupt presidency in the history of our country, and there's not
Yep.
a close second. And we're only 2 years into this thing. And you
I
know,
know.
and I'm going to bounce it over to you, but just say one thing: this is happening. It's happening by Lutnick. It's happening with his other advisors around him, and he has already said, "I will. I am going to pardon anybody that's what did he say? 100 feet of the Oval Office." And
Yep.
so,
And there's nothing we can do about it.
what can you do about it?
I
What
mean,
can you do about
impeaching
it?
wouldn't even do anything because he wouldn't get removed, even though, honestly, if we had a functioning and honest government, they would remove him. But then we would have Vance, which is like even worse. So I mean, there's just nothing that we can do about this. And I do think more people are waking up, quote unquote, to the fact that this is all just like seriously a grift. And it's kind of just like they're slowly realizing that, and these are like Trump supporters for like
Mm-hmm.
10 plus years because he's just not producing. Like it's just a fact. Like he is not producing. He's closed the border and, a couple other things, but people are like, wait, what the heck? I thought all these things were going to happen. So then the only other alternative is to look at, okay, why did he do this? And it's all there. It's all there. The world of the financial, the crypto stuff. I mean, there is so much happening. The tariffs, the war, and the oil prices. It's all a grift. It's all a
It
grift. And it's
is.
so sad to watch people like slowly realize this. I'm like, yeah, like it's not like I'm not like a I told you so about it, right? I don't think there's any like use in that. But I am like, yeah, he was never gonna be good. He was not going to be good. So now we're just gonna have to like become third world country level of
Banana
corruption. I
Republic
mean, I don't
stuff.
even know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
crazy.
you're absolutely right. I guess the ultimate question that we will come to find out sooner or later is whether or not a president can pardon himself. And I think we're
right?
going. I
I
think we're
think
going to. I
so
think that's going to come because the corruption. It's. I mean, the numbers are there. You can't lie about
too.
it. I mean, what did he and his sons took a, a like a huge stake in this startup company, and I can't remember what the name of it was, and I apologize, but it was about minerals. And then that startup company got like nearly a $1 billion upfront, no
Oh, I
bid,
just tweeted about
no
this.
bid, no bid, gave them
Mhm.
money directly from the government. Him and his sons made tens,
$620 million.
hundreds of
Yeah.
millions of dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the that company's valuation, it's Vulcan, by the way,
it is Volcan.
whoever
Yes.
wants to know. And that it's like 10 times the valuation that it used to be. And because they got a loan from the Pentagon, a loan that like the largest loan of all time, that
Yeah.
it just doesn't happen. So yeah, I mean, it's so obvious, and I don't really think people are trying to make excuses anymore. They're just kind of like crap, like shit. What are we gonna do? So
And you know
yep.
what? It's something we're going to have to address because number one, I think the pardon system in this country is due for a really big change, but that'll require most likely a constitutional amendment.
Mhm.
I don't have a lot of confidence that'll happen, but I do think that if or when the Democrats win, if they don't screw up the midterms, which they're working towards screwing it up.
Yeah, they
But if they
are.
don't
They
screw up
are.
the midterms, then I suspect we are going to see uh, one thing out of the house. We're gonna have one James Comer after another, and I'm making fun of James Comer.
Mhm.
Investigation into Trump and his kids and everything else. And I just don't see how he's not impeached in the first 2 months. I mean, it's going to be one after the other if I was going to take a
Yeah.
guess. So thanks
Yeah.
everybody. We ran over a couple of minutes. Thanks everybody for joining us. If
Thank
you
you.
haven't already, please subscribe to the No Bull Media Group. As you can see it right there. Right now, we're only broadcasting on YouTube. That will soon change, and we expect this next week we will be broadcasting to most major social media platforms. So again, subscribe, like it. If you've got a question, leave a question for us. We'll answer it, and we'll get back to you. And yeah,
The
lots
no-bull
lots of
political
great
arenas
stuff
on
happening
all
here,
major.
and really appreciate everybody taking the time to watch us. And
Yes, thank you.
thanks, yes, and thanks again for joining us again, Lauren. And it was a good conversation. Lots of stuff happening. So we will see you
Yep.
again tomorrow. Hopefully, Lauren, we'll see you again tomorrow. So
All right.
thanks so much. Thanks so much, Lauren. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
The no-bull political arenas on all major social media platforms. Make sure to give us and your host a follow.
Hey everybody, this is Sophia Nelson. Follow me at I am Sophia Nelson on every one of my social media platforms.
I'm Bill O'Reilly, and you can reach me at Twitter at WFBOR.
Hey, this is TJ. Follow me on X or Twitter at TJ McCormack.
This is Brian Mistro, and you can follow me on X at Brian_Mistro or follow along on Facebook at Brian.Mistro.
A No Bull Media Group member.